What does it mean to live? What does it mean to love? How should we live and how should we love? These are some of the questions explored in this beautiful movie about an enthusiastic and inspiring English teacher who not only wants to impart dry knowledge to his students, but also teach them an important lesson and wisdom about life. The film begins by showing us the typical scenes of school life with the monotonous lectures of most teachers, which of course results in bored and sleepy students. These first scenes reveal that most of these students are not where they are for their own sake, but out of obligation to someone else, whether it's their parents, friends, or simply the expectations of society. Of course, they themselves want certain kind of success, and since no one has ever told them that there might be other ways to achieve so-called success, they have accepted this method and are trying to push through school without disappointing others. But it becomes clear that most of them, in a way, are disappointing themselves. They have smothered the fire within their souls that make them individuals. They become just a number, and they didn't even realize it, and yet they are congratulated for it. Then comes Keating into their lives, the eccentric teacher who is different from the start. He doesn't want them to learn literature and poetry from textbooks. He wants to rekindle that fire inside them, which creates poetry, beauty, love, and individuality. Through his creative teaching methods, he shows them how to find wisdom within themselves and about the things for which we truly live and fight for.
We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for.
After all, life is one great poem, and we are part of that poem, each of us contributing a meaningful verse. The key theme that everything revolves around is Carpe Diem, the Latin phrase that reminds us to value every moment of our lives, to use it in the best way we know how, and to do what fills us with love and makes us happy. In this vast universe we live in, our 80 or so years of life are like a grain of sand on a beach, but we often forget is that each grain has its own purpose, contributing to the larger picture and making it what it is. The infinity of the universe and the finiteness of life should not create fear within us, but should transform us into heroes. That, no matter how tragic, is a constant reminder that the next moment is never guaranteed. Instead of fearing it, we should be grateful for it, as it teaches us to live rather than simply exist. If, in fact, nothing in life has meaning, and if the clock is ticking second by second, isn't it better to spend that time creating meaning for ourselves, doing the things that fuel the fire within us and inspire others to do the same? As some of his students began to understand the message, they started to dig deeper within themselves. They began to fight for love, to overcome their fears, and rediscover their long-lost passion. Unfortunately, the film ends tragically when one of the students takes his own life, after his father once again extinguishes the newly discovered flame that had been pushing him toward art and acting. He had learned to see and appreciate life from a completely different perspective. He had learned to love again, and he had discovered a part of himself that he didn't even know it existed. And when all of that was taken from him, he realized that he had nothing else left. This scene, as sad as it is also very necessary. It powerfully emphasizes that passion is as essential as water to human beings, and it shows us what happens when a person is denied the right to be who they truly are.
Captain, my captain.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson. You hear me? Sit down.